Trump
really interesting.
is one of the most effective politicians, whatever you think of the policy and him as a person, just as a politician, just understanding that always lean in to being more who you are. The people are not savvy about issues. He has those moments that no other politician has. And the Democrats have to find that guy.
They need a message, and then you find you find the messenger. No, but that's how it worked for Trump.
That's the worst thing the Democrats always say. Message. Hear a message. Yeah, first of all, they did, and they don't like it. Second of all, they don't give a shit. It's not about the message. Trump changes his message from day to day. Tariffs everywhere. Tariffs nowhere.
Those are policies.
Yes. When you take a look at this clip, you can clearly see Bill's voice has changed. Look at what he's saying about Trump. I didn't actually expect this. I'm going to show you the full video so you can see exactly what Bill is saying about Trump. He's calling out Democrats. They need someone like Trump. He quoted some examples like, this is what he likes to see. I don't know what he has actually been doing in the past to express his feelings like this. After visiting the White House, look at this now. I saw this video. I could not bypass. I just want to show you so you can see exactly what is going on. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please endeavor to do that. It will do you no harm. If you share the video out.
There's a couple of times when, I've been his biggest critic for good reason. And when he got reelected, I said, I'm not going to pre-hate anything. And then the first week I said, well, there's lots of things I hate. Because I do. Okay, there's some things I don't hate also, but the way he can do that and sometimes kind of make me go, oh man, I got to give it up. Like when he did that thing where the guy came in from the Taliban and he said, this is an aerial picture of your house. If during our withdrawal, one American is hurt, just know I know where you live. I was like, oh, can we just play the music now? Because I don't care. It's Donald Trump and he's the worst person ever, blah, blah, blah. I love that. Mm-hmm. One time they were doing something was going on and he said, you know what? When you come after New York, you got to go through me. It's like, oh, hometown boy. He has those moments that no other politician has. And the Democrats have to find that guy.
They need a message. And then you find you find the messenger. No, but that's how it worked for Trump.
That's the worst thing the Democrats always say. Message. Hear a message. Yeah, first of all, they did, and they don't like it. Second of all, they don't give a shit. It's not about the message. Trump changes his message from day to day. Tariffs everywhere. Tariffs nowhere.
Those are policy
it doesn't matter. But they don't care about policy. They don't understand it. His message is, I'm me, I'm strong, and I'm daddy. They're on this daddy thing, and people want a daddy. Tucker Carlson, that whole thing, you've heard that thing about daddy came home and you need a spanking. And I'm like, this is getting a little weird, Mrs. Robinson. Daddy, but you know what? That's what works, and that's what people respond to. They don't know the issues. They don't know the facts.
And
they have no interest in learning about them. They're like an animal. They're instinctive. Like, I smell fear or I smell alpha. And they smell alpha. And Democrats have to come up with an alpha. And it's not Tim Walz.
No, probably not.
And it's not the other Tim who ran.
Kane?
Tim Kane. These are not alphas. It's like this thing of like, let's get a woman and then a docile man who's in every commercial where he's the asshole while mom takes care of business. That's not a message that makes the tribe go, who is strong? Who's strong? Who's strong? Tim Walz. No. Org, give me rock. I need to kill myself because Tim Walz. That you got to appeal to people at a sort of post-civilization stage where we're kind of at, on a primal level. You just do. And Trump does it better than anybody.
Trump does.
Trump
really interesting.
Is one of the most effective politicians, whatever you think of the policy and him as a person, just as a politician, just understanding that always lean in.
Yes, I posted the video a few hours ago. Someone told me, like, he doesn't believe B. Maher at all. Like, anything he says is just to attract Trump's followers to start listening to him. When I saw that comment, I was like, he's making a lot of sense. But at the same time, I had to judge both ways. This guy has been against Trump for so long. Now he sees a lot of things that Trump is doing that Democrats need to do like that. Trump changing his tone every single time and he ends up winning. When you look at what is happening with tariffs, okay, the stock market actually went down. Even still now, things are not really okay. But we are hoping that things might change. Look at Europe. They recently announced they want to level everything to 0 0. Things are actually changing. Watching few hours ago, Zimbabwe has fallen into this. So you understand that Trump is someone that you can't replicate. It will be difficult to have a Democrat like Trump.
There's a crippled character on Joe the cop.
Yeah.
And they make 1,000 jokes about it.
But he's a comic.
But it just shows you that, you can joke about these things without
I'm fine with it. But when you cancel one person, because it's a black woman who's doing it, they're not going to cancel her.
Totally.
That's the problem.
You're right. She wears the magic armor. She wears a magic armor so she can do that. Yes, you're right. And both parties do that. Like when you're in our side, like if I made a fat joke about anybody in the world, how dare you from the left? If you make it about Trump or Chris Christie, it's just hysterical.
That's right.
That's what we got to get past.
I know.
That's those independent, what'd you call them? Independent and
critical thinkers.
Critical thinkers.
Like I tell people, I don't want the lemmings. I want the lions. You can have the lemmings. You got 45% of the country are happy to follow. Sheeple.
Oh, way more than that.
No, I think they just stay on the sidelines. I think they watch what's going on and they're like, these people are fucked up. Let me just stick to my regular life. Politics doesn't affect me anyway. I'm not going to let this toxify my brain space.
Right.
Yes, be told this guy, like, he became trustworthy after leaving CNN. I don't know if this is true. If you are not trustworthy, people will not watch you. And I believe to appeal to a lot of people, especially me, he needed to change, to adjust himself, though he is still who he was. Though I've seen some adjustment. When I take a look at what B is saying here, like Jasmine is doing all this, she cannot be cancelled because she's black. These are the same talking points they use. And I like the idea that these Democrats are doing just that. Calling it out is amazing.
Extending this olive branch and we talked about things we had in common, ending wokeness, securing the border. Right. The president was asking him what he thought about policy, going on with Iran and Israel and things. It just meant it blew my mind. It was, right. I was, very, very proud.
Amazing. And by the way, it was also added that Maher showed up with a list of terrible things that Trump had said about Maher. And he showed it, I guess, to President Trump, who signed it and gave it back to him. Wow. Classic. Anyway, yeah. So what do you make of it? Because the left is very unhappy with Bill for doing this. I don't know that the right is loving it either, but I think they're used to Trump doing this now because he's had a parade of liberals come to him, from big tech people to media people. So what's your take on it?
Well, I have some experience with this, not necessarily meeting with Donald Trump, of course, but, the culture where you're not supposed to talk to the other side at all. I mean, I've lost friends for my willingness to come on shows like this one, because I think it's important to have these conversations. I do think that there are areas of common ground. It doesn't mean you need to be a Trump supporter, but Trump is the president of the United States, meaning he's meant to represent everyone, including individuals who did not vote for him. And if the left in general is unwilling to even have a conversation with anyone on the right, including the president, well, how are you ever going to expect him to consider the issues that matter the most to you. So I actually think opening up dialogue with individuals you disagree with is more important than just existing in this echo chamber where you're going to hear everything you want to hear, where your ideas are going to be validated, and quite frankly, where the lack of challenge to your ideas will make you quite weak and unappealing eventually to the electorate.
After today, I get it now. I understand why everyone is being called to leave the Democratic Party right now. I don't know if it was always this way. I don't feel like it was always this way, but this party has been infiltrated by the devil. I watched a few lives of these protests today, and I found something in one of these protests that was actually scary. Now, these pictures are not the best because I tried to get screenshots from these as quick as I could, but this lady right here, and I have no idea what state this was in, but they pulled up this gate of hell, and this devil lady came.
Yes, we have seen demonstrations, people coming out in numbers to demonstrate against Elon Musk and President Trump.
And there is a possibility to fight back and win, is leading to this just incredible response. As you said, more than 1,300 events every single state. Yes, there are over 100 events in California. There are more than 60 in the state of New York, more than 50 in Washington. But it's not just blue states, Rachel. We see 17 events across the state of Montana, 14 across.
Best idea for April 5th being sort of a hub for events all over the country and in Washington.
Progressive district attorneys are anti-police, pro-criminal, and overwhelmingly elected with George Soros's money, and they're a major cause of the violence.
George Soros into this.
And finally, new rule to those on the right who keep asking me, Bill, you're so good at roasting the woke nonsense peddlers. Why don't you go all the way and join us? Let me give you the short answer. Because I don't want to live in North Korea.
Thank you guys who is with the sharing out my videos. God bless you abundantly. For clips, if you see that is just for the YouTube algorithm, I usually add you can end here if you want.
Administration isn't exactly getting the heroes welcome.
The fact that the Americans finally realized what the reality was, namely that if they had come here to nuke as planned tomorrow, they would have been met with riots.
This is a Fox News alert, a crushing blow for Democrats who had hoped against hope.
Brad Schimmel, that has included Elon Musk pouring tens of millions of dollars.
I think you saw a repudiation of the fact that.
I do think the Republican takeaways tonight are going to.
The margin right now, Randy Fine in the lead with 53.7% of the vote against.
I bet you there are a lot of people that voted for Trump that wish. And
a lot of people who didn't vote.